Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drew and today we are going to explore a little bit of Kuala Lumpur, but most importantly, we are going for Deepavali in Little Brickfields, India. It's closer to downtown Kuala Lumpur, Chinatown, the really tall buildings, etc., etc. I'm excited to go to Deepavali today. We should be trying to go see like maybe 5 or 6 different temples, maybe one Buddhist temple, but the rest of them probably will be Hindu temples. I really don't know much about Deepavali besides that it represents new beginnings or a new year. So I thought it'd be a perfect time to put this out on my channel because it's the new year. Deepavali is the festival of lights. Other people, and up until this point, I had never heard anything but Diwali. The name Diwali is Northern Indians, I guess, and Deepavali is what the Southern Indians call it. So I guess Malaysia has more Southern Indians because they call it Deepavali here. I hope that you enjoy the vlog. I would love for you to be a part of this community and get to see the world with me, so subscribe down below if you like the video. Let's go exploring and see what Deepavali is all about. So we started off the day going on the bus, which probably took us around an hour and a half to get from our apartment to the bus. And we stopped at a mall to go to the bathroom before we headed out because there's not a lot of established restrooms and things like that in Little India and probably at the temples we're going to. So we went to the bathroom because you know I love the toilets here and filming them for y'all. After that, we went back out into the streets. We went to this hawker stall, is what they call them, and it was called Sami's Corner. Sami's Corner is famous for their roti. Roti is the really thin bread that you eat with curry, and we ended up actually getting 2 different types of roti. Roti canai and roti, I can't remember the other one. Roti canai was thicker, but the other roti was very thin and crispy. I definitely preferred the roti canai because I love that toughness of gluten in the roti. The curry was cold, and I don't really like eating cold curry off the street because you don't know how long it's been sitting there, and it's obviously not kept at a good temperature for bacteria and things like that. So we were really taking our lives into our hands at this point. Sami's Corner, really great, really nice people, and really cheap. After that, we started walking the streets and we started seeing like small little temples and kind of just what is happening. And I had no idea what was about to come. But at these small temples, they have candles going, and then you see all the flowers that they prepared on the street and things like that, which was really cool. Then we hit our very first temple. It was absolutely humongous and my first experience ever getting to see anything that has to do with Deepavali and Hinduism in person, really. Like, I've seen Hindu temples and stuff in the past. I don't know, this time it was just such a different experience than what I've experienced in the past, and enjoyed the culture so much more this time. So when we got to this temple, the first thing you notice is the leg washing stations. None of the temples did they allow you to wear your shoes. Very firm rule. I was about to walk the stairs up into this temple, and these two men came out. It was a father and son. We ended up talking to them. They have a coconut, and they light it on fire somehow. I don't know how. They put out the fire and then smash the coconut into this bin thing. The younger man spoke better English, and he didn't really know why he was doing it. I think it was more of a family tradition. I think it might be something to do with like celebrating new things or wishing for new things in the future and the hope that that brings. I'm not for sure exactly. So let me know if you know. Guys, these temples are everywhere you look. I cannot say it enough. There is something happening. And so it's just too much for any one brain to comprehend at one time, because there's so much color, so much detail. Every single pole has something. It's just absolutely insane. In all the temples, I try to be discreet because this is people worshiping. I don't want to be in the middle of that, and I don't want to disturb them in what they're doing, because this is a very important day for them, and I don't want to be the cause of them like being distracted and not feeling like they did everything they were supposed to that day, or whatever the meaning of it is. First temple, we got to see her doing the rice, which was really neat because she did it so quickly. Like within 30 minutes, the whole thing was done. And I didn't get it all on film for y'all, but we stayed a little bit longer and it was like a lot more done. After that, we went to a Buddhist temple where I accidentally walked into a wedding, and yeah. The Buddhist temple was a lot simpler than the Hindu temples. The craziest things about the Buddhist temple to me is the big statues of the Buddhas. Hinduism has a lot more detail, and Buddhism was simpler, but huge statues of the Buddhas. It was interesting to see the differences in that as well. Honestly, the craziest thing about Deepavali, and I think I may have said this before, but it's the amount of color and noise and busyness of the whole situation. If you are a sensory type person, either way, you'll either love it or you will really hate it. It's just a lot. It's hard to be in the midst of it almost because it's so much going on. I don't know how else to describe it. Like the color just hits you and the smells hit you and the noise hits you. So many people wondering about. It's absolutely magnificent. Would not want to do it every day by any means, but it was a very fun, cool experience to be in the midst of their celebration that day. Guys, this temple was so insane. I think I was so distracted that I couldn't even film correctly because there's so many people. They were excited to have us. There was detail galore. I have never seen so much detail on a building. Then you have all the people doing their rituals. Wow, it was a lot. I will just say, I don't know if I can go to India because of how much sensory overload it is. Well, I've been to India, but a different part of India than mainland India. Just the sensory overload of Hinduism and some of these temples were absolutely the most, it was just a lot. That's all I had to say. But because they are willing, and like this temple was so willing to let foreigners in, you get to see these people doing their rituals and their traditions, which is so amazingly neat. So like you'll see this woman come in and do her prayer, and everybody had different things. Like no two people were doing the exact two things, and I think that's the uniqueness of Hinduism. Hinduism is so all-encompassing that it has so many gods. Everybody just does something different, and I really like that about Hinduism, because it allows you to find your thing within that religion. my favorite part of the day. We were trying to find a place to eat, and we were kind of out on the outskirts of everything, and we came across this place, and people were eating on banana leaves. I could not pass that up. I was like, I don't care if I get some sort of salmonella, we are eating on these banana leaves today. This restaurant did not have things up to temperature either. They were definitely lukewarm or coldish, or And so we got the veg meal. It was very, very spicy, but very delicious. I think the beetroot with the nuts was probably my favorite. And then they had this rice pudding that they gave us that had cinnamon and cardamom. Oh, it was so good, guys. We all need to try more Indian food in our lives. That's my goal. Eat more Indian food. Mouth burning. Very, very spicy. Overall, it was just such a beautiful day, an overwhelming sensory overload type day, but it was absolutely beautiful to see people doing what's really important to them without really having to know everything that was going on, asking if we could. It's just such a inviting, fun environment. I wish we had things like that in the US, like readily available, but we just don't. Yeah, you get to experience other people, and I guess that's my thing. Let's experience other people, other cultures, and enjoy them for what they are, because the world is so diverse. We don't have to sit and judge it. We can just experience it and be a part of it, and I love that.